Hello there. Good morning. Today is Monday and I'm on my way to work and I'm at the red light. I decided to start this video now because I have some things to talk about this morning. So this is going to be kind of a little bit of an extension of my last video. My last video was about how much of my life do I actually control. Like they say we control our own lives with our thoughts. Okay, well, the jury's still out on that as far as my feelings about it are concerned. However, I know thoughts are important. I know attitude is important. I know that you can, it's possible to bring on, if you're a very negative person, you might see nothing but negative things. If you're a very positive person, you might see more positive, and your life might look positive if you're a positive person. So I do believe that's true. As far as as far as manifesting, yes, I do believe that a lot of things happen on my behalf that are outside, that are like, just like this job and all the people there. That's the best description I can give. That's the best example, in other words, I can give, is when I went to look for this job, it's one thing to apply for a job and get a job, and then get a good job. But to get a job where you have people who are so wonderful and supportive and so on board and so on the same level with you, that kind of goes above and beyond me just applying for work and finding a job. That was unexpected. I did not expect to find a job where I walked in and the next thing I know, I have all these amazing, wonderful people that are just nothing but good. I mean, you can get a really good job and it can pay and it'll pay the bills and and you like the work and everything else, but that doesn't necessarily mean that every single person in that building is going to be kind to you, good to you. It's going to be a great work environment. It's going to be fun to be there. Just the personalities that click with you and you get along with everybody, and that doesn't necessarily have to happen just because you applied and got a job. That kind of thing, to me, that's what is kind of above and beyond. That's what I call above and beyond what I did. But I did have a great attitude. I do feel like I may be attracted. They call it the law of attraction, and I haven't read that book yet, but one of these days I think I'm going to need to read the law of attraction. I never used to believe it before because I was too Christian to think that any of that stuff could be true, but it's quite possible that there are laws of attraction, that we do attract good things to us when we're feeling good and thinking positive thoughts. And again, until I read that book, I'm not going to comment on it, but I will say that I'm starting to, even as a Christian, I'm starting to get out of, I was never religious, but let's just say I'm starting to not believe that some of these things are evil or from, like witchcraft, or what do they call sorcery. The Bible says don't believe in divination, don't do whatever. A lot of people classify Think and Grow Rich and the law of attraction. A lot of Christians classify those things as against the Bible, and that's where I used to think that might be true, like, oh, these things aren't biblical, but the more I look at it, the more I think that they are supported by Jesus and what he taught. And so that's what my channel is about. It's about exploring these concepts and comparing them to Jesus's teachings and to the Bible and to what the Bible says, and finding out, does this have merit? Do we have the ability to create? And are we all creators? And like my last video, I was talking about, who's doing the creating. And one of the things that I can say that I'm noticing is that I took a couple days off and I relaxed. I got a lot done. I organized things in my apartment. I threw boxes away. Just got a lot done. And I also had a lot of time to rest. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. I was out all weekend last weekend, so I just rested. And I had a really, really, really good restful weekend, but I noticed something. Today's a rainy day. I was getting ready for work. The fire alarm went off as I was leaving. I didn't want to leave my cat. I didn't want to take him because I had to go to work, but I couldn't put him in his cage and take him with me. So I just stayed there and waited till I knew everything was okay. It's happened before. The fire alarm goes off. I've noticed that living in a high-rise building, every time somebody burns toast or burns popcorn, that fire alarm goes off. So sadly, people just ignore it because it goes off so often. It's not, I don't even really know how it's even a warning because it just goes off all the time, and it's just an annoyance. And so I stayed. I didn't want to leave my cat. I was a half an hour early for work. I was actually 40 minutes early for work, so I wasn't going to be late. But I just sat there thinking, okay, I live in this apartment building. This is where I wanted to be. This is my life now. It's a rainy day, and now I'm getting ready to go to work. My legs hurt. My back hurts. Everything hurts. I do have chronic pain. I don't know if I've shared that with you, but I have a lot of chronic pain. And today I'm just in pain. Took a nice hot bath, but it didn't do any good. It still hurt. And so as I'm leaving the house, the alarm went off. They turned it off. I left the house, the apartment, and I thought to myself, a quick thought, just a really quick thought was, what happened to my happy world? This isn't cheerful this morning. This isn't like one of those cheerful good days. I felt like I couldn't even move, and the alarm's going off. It wasn't a cheerful morning. And then I went outside. I went to the parking garage, and I got to the point where the garage door was open. It was already open, and I look outside, and there are a whole bunch of fire trucks outside. And I'm like, dang, did we really have a fire? I don't know, but it could have been that maybe when the alarm goes off, they just call the fire trucks. I think maybe that's more like it, because they left. So I don't think there was a fire. I think every time that alarm goes off, the fire trucks end up at our building. But anyway, needless to say, I was already running a little bit late now. And now the fire truck is blocking the entrance to the garage. Of all places for a fire truck to park, they're not going to let people out the garage. Like they're going to entrap people in the building? Like, what the heck? What if I would have had my cat and I would have been in my car ready to go, and what do we do? Just abandon our car and walk and get out on the side? I guess so. I guess they expect you to just walk, but that was another thing that happened this morning. The elevators weren't working properly, so there was only one elevator and it was blinking. And I ended up taking that one. And again, I'm thinking, great. Is this elevator going to break down on me while I'm going down? Am I going to end up taking the stairs down 11 floors? What's going on here? So that was my morning. And I have to say, as always, I'm going to admit to you when I'm not having a good day. Because I have lots of good days, and I'm always in the parking lot at work going, oh, my life is so wonderful. Well, not today. Not today. After that wonderful, restful weekend, this morning was just a show. I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube, so I won't. But you know what I'm saying. This morning was just not a good morning. But the fire truck ended up moving. I was another 10 minutes late, so that took my additional 20 minutes waiting to see if the alarm was going to go off. It took an additional 10 minutes to get down the elevator and out the door. So there went all of my 40 minutes of time, and now I'm not running late for work, but I'm going to be scrambling in there and logging in. And again, with the, maybe may or may not get my tea. I don't know. But this is the kind of thing that I'm always talking about, the highs and the ups and the up moments that I have. It's time for me to talk about the lows as well, because I want to observe this. We are on this journey together, my friends, and I do not have it all figured out. In case you haven't gotten that message from my other videos, I do not have it all figured out. However, I can say that yes, I believe that I am part of the all. I believe they talk about raising your vibration. You've got to get on a higher vibrational level. When you're vibrating with people who are vibing high and living life large and having everything they want and being happy and cheerful, when you're vibing on that vibe, then you're creating what comes from that vibe, which is more good things. Let's just put it that way. Like when I got my job and met all these wonderful people. Yeah, that's vibing high. Okay, so this morning, I'm going to say I was vibing low. I wasn't vibing high this morning. And my son told me not to use the word vibrations. He's a biochemist. He was a biochemist before he went into computer science. But he knows all about AI and about programming. And he's a full stack developer, and he also knows biochemistry. So he would sit me down when I would have these woo-woo moments, and I would talk to him about it. And he would say, stop saying vibrations. It's not vibrations, but wave frequency, photons and particles, and theory of, Einstein's theory. And how else do I say it? What other human word is there to use other than frequency? Because there are the solfeggio frequencies, there are musical frequencies, there are frequencies. And they do say that the waves of life are, waves based on certain frequencies. So, I don't believe that I am on a frequency. I don't picture myself riding a magic carpet along a musical frequency. That's not what I'm talking about when I say frequency, and I want you to know that. That's not what I'm talking about. And look at this. Here's a truck in front of me. There's a truck at the green light, stopped, waiting for traffic, slow moving. He's gonna move, and there went my green light. So now my light's red, and the truck's gonna move an inch at a time. As if I have time to spare right now. There he goes. I can see him. Here's my green light, and I'm going to catch up to this truck, and he's going to inch our way to my workplace. This is just something else. It's almost comical, really. It's almost comical. So, anyway, the only way that I can say it is vibration, because I have no other human word to use. But I'm not talking about vibration like zzz, like something's vibrating. That's not the kind of vibration that I believe that people are talking about. The vibration is what elevation, as far as the consciousness that we're on. Vibration just means, are we in a form of energy that is loving, kind, giving, nurturing, positive, and that brings positive, good things to life and brings life and light? Or are we on an energy that brings darkness? And I believe let's talk about light and darkness. So maybe rather than frequency, I could say, I'm closer to the light, or I've sunken into more darkness. I guess maybe biblically that's the way it would be described. I'm not sure, but anyway, I went down into a lower sense of feeling. Let's put it that way. I went into a lower, darker sense of feeling. And then I started to experience lower, darker things in life. And I find that curious. Now, how did I go into a lower, darker sense of feeling when I had such a restful, relaxing, wonderful weekend? That's a good question. Well, I'm going to tell you how, and I know exactly how. I was watching YouTube videos this weekend that weren't positive. I got a little bit tired and a little bit bored of watching all the quantum science videos and all the videos about life and everything else, and I wanted to watch something different. So I watched about P. Diddy, and I watched about crime, and I watched about things that were darker. Garbage in, garbage out. So I'm at work. I don't have a minute to spare. Actually, I have 5 minutes to spare, but I'm going to get in there. But that's what I wanted to say. I'm experimenting with this whole thing, and from what I gathered from today is garbage in, garbage out. If you watch garbage and you bring garbage in to your mind and into your life and into your thoughts and into your world, garbage is going to come out. So positive in, positive out. Garbage in, garbage out. That's what I learned today. So that's it. I'm at almost 15 minutes. I'm here. I'm going to get in there. Thanks for being here. I didn't even talk about subscribing and all that stuff on this channel, on this video. But anyway, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.